back of the ramp, Sergeant Anna Irwin's made her way her back to the ramp. She's got giant orange hands. If you can give her a big wave as she moves along the crowd line. Charlie's down. The seesaw manoeuvre is essentially a stall tone. As he gets to the top of the climb, he's putting in pedal, coming round, stall tone complete, nose down, accelerating, going right. Now you can see Anna waving, this time without the orange hands. Charlie accelerates with a face full of runway. He's going to come out to crowd left, conducting a nose over 180 again, vertically up, sticking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a bow from the team. At the end of the 2014 Chinook display team. As Charlie departs over his shoulder, we'd just like to say it's been a pleasure to display here for you today. Enjoy the rest of the displays. Hopefully Charlie's going to come back and pick me up.
In commemoration of the 55,000 plus aircrew that did not return during World War II. And we say it every year and we'll say it again without apology. Every single one of those aircrew were volunteers. No one was conscripted in to fly during World War II. You volunteered for it. And they volunteered knowing the risks, and they went ahead and flew these aircraft on night raids over Germany.
At 275 miles an hour and a range of 1,500 miles. Over 7,000 were built, 3,500 were lost on operations. Only 2 now, and here they are.
Very unreliable engines was something of a failure. The idea to hang 4 Merlins on was just simply inspired. Keith is telling me that FM looked fully. There were two Peregrines back to back, making an X-shaped 24-cylinder engine. And they had a tendency to catch fire, which isn't really very good when the aircraft has no single-engine performance. The other engine is just there then to get the aircraft to the crash, and many of them were lost through engine failure as well as through enemy action.
So coming in now, the two fighters you can see on your left, ladies and gentlemen, to join in once more with a Lank.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
you won't see this again for a very, very long time, if ever.
This is going to be a final fly-past now. This is it.
Wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. We lucky few. Fly 747-400 for British Airways. So there we are. Look at this right down on the deck.
all over it. There was so much fuel, they even used to put it in the pilot's pockets.
And there, that characteristic whine for the gun ports on the P-51 Mustang.
Early versions of the Mustang, the engine. This coming around the corner. What's this? They've changed lead. Now we have Steve Jones leading. We mentioned earlier on that this particular Spitfire is one of the most famous. It's appeared in a number of films. It was test flown at the Castle Bromwich factory in August 1943 by the rather wonderful Alex Henshaw. And I strongly recommend anyone to read his book, Cypher Merlin. It then went to 222 Squadron, where it was flown by Henry Lardner Burke, and it scored 7.5 kills. The first of which was a Focke-Wulf 190 over St Omer on the 27th of August 1943. In all, it did 79 operational sorties and stayed for just 11 months, and with the war over, returned to Newark in 1946. Early fighter aircraft, fighter versions of war, and several planes were made by hunters against Pakistani MiG-20. Nothing. Like it's perfectly adequate. It's a race from London to Christchurch in New Zealand. It got there in 23 hours 51 minutes. That aircraft is now in the Battle of Britain in the RAF Museum at Hendon, and that record has never been broken. 35 RAF squadrons. Spitfire or something. Formation with
much more active yesterday. I know the peak out of that.
So look at both ends of the line. That was rather nice. I enjoyed that bit. It was an incredibly large logistical operation to feed and keep warm an entire city. There were two racetrack patterns and maintaining speed. When it landed at Tempelhof, the landing was terrible. The pilot was called in to explain, and only then was it realised that instead of putting on a 3-ton load for a DC-3, they'd put on the much bigger load for an Avro York. And so he only just managed to do it. But the aeroplane did it and probably didn't complain very much at all.
The York, Melvin. Wasn't that what our American chums call the 3-fin, 4-fan aluminum spam can, man?
I think he was. There is an old saying.
Oh no!
Used to haul meat and cargo. I believe the South African military still use them, or they've been re-engined with turboprops. And as Andrew brings it down on downwind leg now with the gear dangling, it is just, I just love them. I just am very jealous that no one's ever asked me to go and fly one.
Up after the DC-3 lands on your right, it's all happening now. We build up to the denouement, to the finale of Wings and Wheels. Dunsfold 2014. The DC-3 curving in lovely approach. Feather light landing, not even a little puff of smoke from the tyres there.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've been saying it all day, but we're going to say it again. We're going to labour this point because it does need to be done. There is no prize for getting... Mobile phone, text DVD to 78070. I'll repeat that, DVD to 78015 for 2014. Please give it up for the Renault!
Triple 18. Reds 4 and 5 pitch up to roll back rapidly into a shape we call Apollo. Now listen in for Red 1's voice.
Coming.
As the jets go upside down now, this is where the pilots will see you waving. Well, when the Red Arrows formed back in 1964, ready for that first GR4. Well, out to the right now, the smoke's on. The boys have formed our trademark shape. They'll come in ready to fly the Diamond Roll. Another big wave then, please, boys and girls. Now we fly our formations with the odd-numbered pilots on the left-hand side, the even-numbered pilots fly on the right-hand side. And in their 3-year tour with off, the boys have formed a very iconic shape. It's of the supersonic airliner. They're about to show you Concorde. Synchro there! Reds 8 and 9 pitch up to roll around 6 and 7. They then roll before they split in the Jippo break. Get your cameras ready now for the Vixen break. You've been watching the Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. The white smoke comes on. Then the colour, here's your cue, ladies and gentlemen, the Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows! Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're going back. I'm going to...
The flight now operate 2 Hurricanes, a Mark II Spitfire, a Mark V Spitfire, 1 Mark 9, 1...
And we are about to get the Vulcan. Vulcan represents the very best, the most imaginative, thinking out of the box virtues of British aeronautical design and engineering. She represents, I suppose, the very best of the great British people. And she has actually proved herself the single most popular aeroplane in the country.
Oh, damn it.
I was going to say this earlier when Squadron Leader Mike Ling of the Red Arrows was here, but I thought it might be churlish, because at Farnborough they polled 16,300 Facebook volunteers to ask them what was their favourite in the show. Red Arrows came second, Vulcan came top. But as he's gone now, I think I can say it without having to whisper. So here she comes towards us, flown today for us by the captain is Phil O'Dell, Pod, and Kev Rumin sitting in the right-hand seat. That's what she does. That's the sound of 4 Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus engines, 16,500 pounds of static thrust, making a total of about 65,000. Those are the engines that took the aircraft not to supersonic speed. She was a subsonic bomber. But bear in mind that she first flew only 11 years after the Lancaster. I mean, when you look, and Vulcan then flew in 1952. So a quite extraordinary feat from an amazing designer. Sad to say he died in 1947 in an aircraft accident, so he never saw his great Delta shape take to the sky. He never saw it become the first operational Delta aircraft in the world. So the wheels down now, all 18 wheels as she flies past. Seeing her with the wheels down reminds me with those big undercarriage doors that at one of the air shows this season, after the show when they'd had underwing tours of people being shown around the aircraft, we discovered a huge complete lip shape in lipstick on one of the undercarriage doors. So somebody really loves her very much. And there is the bomb bay opening. You can see that huge bomb bay underneath the aircraft. That's what a bomber is all about. That was the runway in the Falklands with one bomb and the edge of the runway with another. And that put the Falkland Islands airport out of action as far as the Argentine first fast jets were concerned. To get there, it was the longest bombing raid in history, and it took 18 air-to-air refuelings. So on her final pass now, here comes the magnificent, the wonderful, your aeroplane, the Avro Vulcan.